Ohio State, that's where we're starting. The Buckeyes are trying to stay hot. They landed 2 elite safeties in the last week, but number 1 overall, Braylon Womack, was on campus, and I don't think it's over with him. How's Ohio State sitting with the 5-star safety?
You just kind of glazed over those recruiting wins, too. Blaine Bradford from Louisiana choosing the Buckeyes over LSU and Texas, saying it's the best place for him to come get developed. The program that was recruiting him the hardest, he is now in the fold for the defending national champs. Simeon Caldwell, a safety linebacker hybrid that'll bring some versatility to the back seven of anybody's defense. Coach Patricia and company going to have fun moving Simeon Caldwell around in that scheme. And then, yes, Braylon Womack takes his visit to Ohio State this weekend, spends a couple days on campus. How about Coach Guerreri over there at Ohio State showing his recruiting chops on the trail? People are like, it's easy to recruit at Ohio State. Well, they're recruiting against great programs, and they're doing the same for Braylon Womack. His top 4 also has the Florida Gators in it, Texas A&M, Auburn, schools like Alabama and other programs certainly tried to make a push for Braylon Womack. He tells me Ohio State's number 1. They're his leader now. He's not going to decide till July or August, but he talked about how his skill set fits with Blaine Bradford's and Simeon Caldwell's. And he said, I don't run from smoke. I go towards the smoke. He wants to play with the BIA, the best in America. He sees that at Ohio State, sees a track record of development, the stage they play on, what they're able to offer their football players on the field with development, off the field with the city of Columbus, NIL opportunities, all of that. So Ohio State is trending right now for Braylon Womack, one of the most versatile two-way football players in the country, the number 1 safety recruit in the land, but he does everything on Friday nights, and I like where Ohio State stands in this recruitment.
Yeah, what a week for this defensive secondary of Ohio State. Now let's stay on the 5-star theme here and talk Felix Ojo. And there's a big battle brewing with the Texas Longhorns, who just hosted Ojo. Now Ohio State is set up to host him and his family. How are you feeling about this recruitment?
Well, Texas is where my on-3 RPM is at, but if there's a program that makes me nervous about that prediction, it's Ohio State, because he's always had such a keen eye on the Buckeyes, and he's going to visit a couple of times before he decides. He's going to come up this spring. He's slated to come on an official visit in the summer, and we've seen Ohio State go into the state of Texas and be Heartbreak U for those in-state programs, from Devin Sanchez and Riley Pettijohn in last year's cycle. So many before that. Ohio State's always done a terrific job in the Lone Star State. They can boast guys like Paris Johnson in the NFL, Donovan Jackson in this draft class. Again, the way that they produce players at every position level, what they offer their athletes on and off the field. Ohio State is the program that is the biggest threat to Texas right now for Felix Ojo.
All right, we knew it would take a minute for the Buckeyes to kind of get over that national championship hangover, but now it looks like recruiting is heating up. You got any more intel for Ohio State fans?
Tons. Buckeyes fans, hit that recliner, lean back, and go along for the ride right now, as Ohio State is in the mix for many of their top targets right now. Still love where they stand for 4-star local running back Favor Akey. He visited 3 weeks in a row for spring practice. He's taking his official visit the weekend of June 6th. I look for that to be around the time he locks in a commitment with Ohio State. Deuce Gerald's the number 5 defensive lineman in the country. I think Ohio State is the front runner there. He was just at Oklahoma this weekend, also recently at Ohio State, among other places. Buckeyes, if they're pushing for Deuce Gerald's, I think they'll be tough to beat. Darius Gray, the nation's number 2 interior offensive lineman, was on campus this past weekend. He says Ohio State's going to be in it for the end with him. He'll be back for an official visit. How about Luke Wafel? He's the number 1 recruit in New Jersey, Josh, number 5 edge rusher in the on-3 player rankings. Penn State, Ohio State, and Texas, the top 3, but he had a fantastic visit to Ohio State earlier this spring. He's going to be back for an official visit. The Buckeyes way in that one for Luke Wafel. Receiver recruiting always going well under Brian Hartline and this coaching staff. 4-star receiver Caden Dixon-Wyatt. They're in a battle with Oregon for him. Jalen Lott, they're trying to beat the Ducks for. Brock Boyd's a 4-star on 300 recruit committed to TCU that I could see in Ohio State's class. When all said and done, some major in-state names: Sincere Johnson, the number 1 linebacker in the state, number 1 prospect in the state; Albert Hill the fourth, number 1 corner in the state, number 4 corner nationally. Those are in-state guys that Ohio State's got a great chance to land. My on-3 RPM is on the Buckeyes for Sincere. Now, Albert Hill, Oregon, USC, Alabama, some of the other contenders for him. Tyler Atkinson, the number 1 linebacker in the country, has Ohio State on his short list. They hosted the number 1 running back in the land, Savion Hyder, a couple weeks ago. They will get him back for an official visit. They're going to get a swing at Mark Bowman, the number 2 tight end in the country. Justice Fitzpatrick is another corner from South Florida that visited this spring, now expected back for an official visit this summer. Same with Joey O'Brien, one of the top safeties in the land. So Ohio State, they're in the middle of it for a lot of guys. I could go on and on, but the Buckeyes have the number 3 recruiting class in the country. Jordan Thomas is a corner that visited this weekend that I could really see them rising up the board, or not rising. They're already in the list of front runners with Notre Dame, Michigan, for Jordan Thomas. So Ohio State ripping and roaring on the trail, coming off a national championship.